Good day everyone, my name is Queen Meritaso and my task is to make an on-screen analysis with this novel entitled Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, written by Mark Twain. This novel was first published in the United Kingdom in December 1884 and in the United States in February 1885. This story is about a young boy named Huck and an escaped slave Jim and their moral, ethical, and human development during the Mississippi River that brings them into many conflicts with the society around them. What Huck and Jim seek is freedom, and this freedom sharply contrasted with this existing civilization along the Great River. This conflict between freedom and orderly civilization also forms the overarching theme of the novel. So the portion of the novel that I choose to make an on-screen analysis is found in the first chapter of this novel, page 3 to 4. This portion is composed of 496 words, 2 paragraphs, and 17 sentences. Now for the graphological features, the use of punctuations is present in this passage. The examples of these are comma in sentence 1. Miss Watson, she kept pecking at me, and it got tiresome and lonesome. Another one is semicolon. The examples of this is the sentence, the stars were shining and the leaves rustled in the woods ever so mournful, and I heard an owl away off wooing about somebody that was dead, and a whippoorwill and a dog crying about somebody that was going to die, and the wind was trying to whisper something to me, and I couldn't make out what it was, and so it made the cold shivers run over me. The another one is the exclamation mark. In the sentence 13, I sat still and listened. Directly, I could just barely hear a meow meow down there. And in sentence 14, that was good, says I, meow meow, as soft as I could. And then I put out the light and scrambled out of the window onto the shed. And then the apostrophe in sentence 3. Then I sat down in a chair by the window and tried to think of something cheerful, but it weren't no use. The quotation mark in sentence 13 and sentence 14. I sat still and listened. Directly, I could just barely hear a meow meow down there. And in sentence 14, that was good, says I, meow meow, as soft as I could, and then I put out the light and scrambled out of the window onto the shed. Also, the M dash is used in this sentence. M dash is to indicate added emphasis, an interruption, or an abrupt change of thought. In sentence 11, well, after a long time, I heard a clock away up in the town go boom, boom, boom 12 licks and still again, stiller than ever. Pretty soon, I heard a twig snap down in the dark amongst the trees. Something was stirring. In sentence 11. And also, the hyphenated words like wooing, a shaking, and downhearted is present in the text. Now, let's move to our phonological features. Phonological features is a subcategories of a language like rhyme scheme, alliteration, and assonance, and it is found in this sentence. Example, rhyme. Rhyme is the repetition of sounds or syllables, typically at the end of the verse or line. Examples of these is in the sentence 13 is stiller than ever, and sentence 3, the candle and the table. In sentence 14, something was stirring, and in sentence 12, that now and widow wouldn't know. And then in sentence 1, tiresome and lonesome. Another one is alliteration. This is the repetition and in the first consonant sound of each word. Examples is numbers sentence 6 and sentence 14. Wooing about somebody that was dead, and a whippoorwill and a dog is crying about somebody that is going to die. And something was stirring. The next is the assonance. This is the repetition of a similar vowel sound in closely occurring words. Examples is sentence 1. Miss Watson, she kept pecking at me. The vowel E is used in most of the words in the sentence. And in sentence 6, a dog is crying about somebody that was going to die. The vowel O is being repeated multiple times in the sentence. Now, let's move to our lexical-semantic features. In this level, the author used unfamiliar words, and the author used those words so that the readers will be difficult to understand the message in the text. So the examples of these are the hyphenated word woo-wooing in sentence 6. It represents the sounds of an owl, which is their way of calling attention to the other owls. In this novel, it was used to bring more feelings to the readers that it was nighttime and Huck only heard those sounds around him in the middle of the night. Another one is dog crying about somebody that was going to die. The word crying. It's the sound of the dog when someone is going to die because they felt that the dog have powers to observe in advance what is going to happen in surroundings. The other one is, and the wind was trying to whisper something to me. The word whisper. The word whisper in the text means that the wind at that night is very strong to the point that when it passed into the ears, it seems that it makes sounds like whispering. I got so downhearted and scared, and I did wish I have company. The word downhearted. The word downhearted means that our protagonist or Huck is very sad and discouraged at those times in his life. And then the next is a shaking. It means that at that moment, Huck's body is shaking or he was very scared and uncomfortable. Now let's move to our syntactical features. It's all about the arrangement of words in a sentence. The use of clauses is present in the passage. It is classified with dependent and independent clause. In the passage, the dependent and independent clause are commonly used. The following independent clause and dependent clause were observed in the text. Examples in sentence 2. I went up to my room with a piece of candle and put it on the table. I went up to my room with a piece of candle is the independent, and the dependent clause is and put it on the table. Another one is the stars were shining and the leaves rustled in the woods ever so mournful. And the leaves rustled in the woods ever so mournful is the dependent clause, and the independent clause is the stars were shining. Those independent clauses in the text didn't provide a clear interpretation. The lengthy paragraphs in this part of the novel composed of complex, compound, and compound-complex sentences such as I went out to my room with a piece of candle and put it on the table. It's a compound sentence. By and by, they fetched the niggers in and had prayers, and then everybody was up to bed is a compound complex sentence. I sat down again, a shaking all over is a compound complex. Then I sat down in a chair by a window and tried to think something cheerful, but it warn't no use is a complex sentence. The use of anaphora also exists in this passage. Examples are, directly I could just barely hear a meow meow down there that was good, says I, meow meow. It is a successive clause or sentence start with the same word or clause. That's all for our on-screen analysis, and thank you for listening. God bless.